Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are going to be talking about collaborative AI.
Ooh, very exciting.
It is. And we're going to be taking a look at a piece called Collaborative AI, Breaking Down Silos with Open Data.
Okay.
And, we've all experienced those data silos in our lives, and it can be frustrating. And now imagine that on like a global scale, holding back AI advancements that could potentially, change the world.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about just how much data is out there.
Right.
And how much potential is kind of locked away because it's not connected.
Right.
It's just kind of scattered.
It's like having all the pieces of a puzzle.
Yeah.
But you can't put it together because they're different boxes and you can't see the full picture.
Right. And you can't get the benefit from the full picture.
Right.
And, this is especially crucial when we're talking about AI because we all know that AI thrives on data.
Right.
The more data it has access to, the more powerful it becomes.
It's like the brain almost.
Exactly. And, it's not just about the quantity of the data either. It's about the diversity. Just like humans benefit from interacting with people from different backgrounds and experiences.
Right.
AI models benefit from being trained on diverse data sets.
So the more the merrier, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
It helps them become more robust and generalize better to new situations.
So essentially open data is the key here
Yeah.
to kind of unlocking all of this potential.
That's right.
So, but how does that actually work?
Well, open data initiatives are all about making data freely available and accessible to everyone.
Okay.
You can kind of think of it like a public library for data,
Right.
where anyone can access the information and use it for their own purposes.
I like that analogy.
Whether that be, research or building new applications or even just learning something new,
Yeah.
that data's out there.
So how does that translate into real world benefits?
Yeah, so let's take healthcare, for instance. Imagine an AI system that analyzes patient data from all sorts of sources. Electronic health records,
Right.
genomic data, lifestyle information,
Wow.
clinical trial results.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah, a lot of data. And by connecting all of these dots between these disparate sources, the AI can identify patterns and insights that would be impossible to see with just a limited view.
So we're talking about, AI that could potentially personalize treatment plans.
Yeah.
Maybe predict health risks, suggest preventative measures like tailored to you.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. And it's not just limited to, the individual level.
Okay.
By analyzing large-scale data sets, we can also understand population health trends,
Okay.
develop public health policies.
So it has a lot of potential benefits.
Yeah, there's huge potential there.
But I imagine there are also downsides, right?
Of course. There's always two sides to the coin.
Because if we're sharing all of this data so freely, I immediately think about like privacy.
That's a valid concern. And security.
Yeah. And that's why it's crucial to have very strong privacy-preserving techniques built into these systems.
Okay.
So one example that's being used is differential privacy.
And what is that?
So that adds a bit of statistical noise to the data sets to kind of mask the individual data points.
Okay.
But it still allows for, accurate analysis on the aggregate.
So I imagine it's kind of like if you were to blur out faces in a crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still see the movement of the crowd.
Yeah, you can see the overall patterns, but you can't identify the individual.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're doing with differential privacy.
Yeah.
So we're kind of masking the individual, but we're allowing for that analysis on the aggregate.
So it's about finding that right balance between, using the data, but then also protecting privacy.
Exactly. Maximizing the utility of the data while protecting the individual.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the technology either. We have to establish clear ethical guidelines for how this data is used.
And make sure that these systems are developed and deployed responsibly.
Of course, we want to make sure that we're using this technology for good.
Exactly.
Not just for the benefit of a few.
That's right. It's about benefiting society as a whole.
Right. And so we need to build a culture of collaboration and trust around this.
Absolutely.
So we're moving beyond just the tech itself.
Yeah.
And going into like the human element of this.
That's right.
So what does that look like?
So it starts with open communication
Okay.
and a shared understanding of the goals and the values that are driving these initiatives.
Okay.
It's about breaking down the traditional silos
Right.
that exist between organizations, departments, different disciplines even.
Right.
It's about creating a space where people can come together and collaborate freely.
So we're talking about, fostering a collaborative mindset
Yeah.
where people are willing to share their knowledge, their expertise,
Yeah,
their data
right.
for the greater good.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about recognizing that we can achieve far more when we work together than we ever could alone.
Together, everyone achieves more. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the true power of collaborative AI lies.
This is really fascinating.
It is.
And I imagine that our listener is starting to really grasp the enormity of what collaborative AI can achieve.
Hopefully so. Yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, it feels like we're like on the edge of something really transformative.
It does.
But I think we need to dive in a little bit deeper.
Okay.
So let's get into some more specific examples of how this is already happening.
Okay, sure.
Like in the real world.
So one timely example, climate change research.
Okay.
Scientists around the world are pooling their data, their resources, to develop these AI models that can hopefully predict and mitigate the effects of climate change.
Wow.
We're talking about massive data sets here.
Okay.
Weather patterns, ocean currents, deforestation rates.
So taking all of this data from all over the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of data.
And putting it into these systems.
That's right, feeding it into these sophisticated AI systems.
And what can they do with all of that?
So they can help us understand the complex interplay of factors that are contributing to climate change, which can then lead to more accurate predictions about future climate scenarios.
So it's giving us more information to make better decisions.
Exactly, and allowing us to prepare and adapt to the potential challenges that we're facing.
Okay.
And it goes beyond just predicting, what's going to happen.
Okay.
These models can also help us identify potential solutions.
Oh, wow.
So things like optimizing renewable energy strategies,
Okay.
developing sustainable urban planning models.
Cool.
We can even simulate the effects of different carbon reduction policies.
So we're using the AI to not only understand the problem, but to also solve it.
That's right, using it to our advantage.
That's pretty incredible.
It is, and this is a global issue.
Yeah, of course.
So how do we make sure that these solutions are being implemented worldwide? So that's where that collaborative element comes in. These models, the insights they generate, they're being shared on open platforms.
Okay.
That makes them accessible to researchers, policymakers, even the public.
Wow.
So this fosters a global exchange of knowledge.
Just so we're all working together on this.
Yeah, and it encourages that collaborative problem solving.
It sounds like AI is giving us a fighting chance in the fight against climate change.
Hopefully so.
Are there other areas where we're seeing this approach make a difference?
Yeah, definitely another area where it's proving really valuable is disaster relief efforts.
Okay, how so?
So imagine an AI-powered platform that connects aid organizations, government agencies, volunteers, all in real time during a natural disaster.
That would be incredibly helpful in a crisis situation.
It would, because you have so much chaos and confusion going on.
Right.
During those times, it's really hard to coordinate those rescue efforts.
Yeah.
But with an AI-powered platform, you can have a central hub that collects and analyzes data from tons of different sources.
Right.
So we're talking satellite imagery, social media feeds, sensor networks, drone footage.
And it can analyze all of that.
And that allows for a real-time assessment of the situation.
Okay.
We can identify areas that are most in need.
Wow.
And we can optimize how those resources are allocated.
So not only are we getting aid to people faster, but it's also going to the people that need it most.
Exactly. And it's all about leveraging AI to save lives and alleviate suffering.
And it's all powered by that collaboration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These platforms are only as good as the data that's being shared.
Right.
Which requires a willingness from all of these different organizations to work together and put the common good above their own individual interests.
Right. We have to all be in it together.
Exactly.
These examples are really inspiring.
They are.
But I'm sure we're just scratching the surface here.
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started.
Yeah. So what are some of the possibilities that are on the horizon for this?
So many possibilities. So imagine personalized education platforms that adapt to each student's learning style and pace.
Wow.
All powered by AI that analyzes data from millions of other learners.
So no more one-size-fits-all education.
Exactly. Yeah. Every student gets a tailored learning experience.
That's amazing.
It is. And, picture AI-driven drug discovery platforms that connect researchers all around the globe so they can share data and collaborate on developing life-saving treatments.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, and we could potentially do this at an unprecedented speed.
The potential is really mind-boggling.
It is.
But with all of this talk about data sharing and collaboration, I have to ask, who controls all of this data?
That's a great question.
And how do we make sure that it's being used responsibly?
Yeah, those are excellent questions, and they really lie at the heart of the debate around open data and collaborative AI.
Yeah.
So the issue of data ownership is complex. You know, there are many different perspectives on how data should be governed
Right.
and who should benefit from it.
So there's no easy answer.
Not necessarily, but what's important is that we're having these conversations
Right.
and we're exploring different models for data governance.
Okay.
So some people advocate for a more centralized approach
Okay.
where governments or international organizations play a larger role
Right.
in regulating data sharing and usage.
Okay.
And others believe that a decentralized approach
Okay.
is the way forward where the data is controlled by individuals and communities.
So there are many different approaches.
Yeah,
And we have to figure out what's best.
exactly.
I think finding that balance is going to be an ongoing process.
I agree.
As long as we keep talking about it
That's right.
and trying to figure it out.
I feel optimistic.
Yeah, me too. And that's the beauty of this field.
Right.
It's constantly evolving. You know, new challenges are emerging,
Right.
but new opportunities are emerging all the time.
So it's not about having all the answers right now.
Okay.
It's about being open to learning, adapting, and collaborating
Right.
to shape a future where AI truly benefits all of humanity.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it really is a great way to put it.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this, though.
Oh, this is such a vast topic.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving. So much is happening.
Yeah, I bet our listeners just like buzzing with all sorts of new insights and questions.
I hope so. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's part of the beauty of it, right?
It absolutely is.
It's making us think differently, and it's making us think about the future and how we can build with this.
Yeah, it sparks that curiosity and makes us think critically about how we want to shape the future with this technology.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dives today,
Okay.
what are some of the key takeaways that you would like our listener to ponder?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's really important to remember that collaborative AI is not just about the technology.
Yeah.
It's about people. It's about breaking down those silos, fostering trust, and working together to harness the power of this data for the greater good.
Right. So it's about shifting our mindset from competition to collaboration
Exactly.
and realizing that we can achieve more together
Absolutely.
by sharing
Yeah.
our knowledge and resources.
Yeah, and that brings us to another crucial point.
Okay.
We need ongoing dialogue
Right.
and
yeah.
debate.
Yeah.
Because, as we've been discussing, there are a lot of complex issues
Sure.
surrounding data ownership, governance,
Mhm.
ethical considerations. There's not always a clear-cut answer.
Right.
But by engaging in these open and honest conversations,
Right.
I think we can work towards finding solutions that benefit everyone.
Absolutely. We need to keep asking those tough questions, challenging assumptions,
Yeah,
exploring different perspectives
absolutely.
to make sure that this technology is used for good.
Exactly. Aligned with our values and aspirations.
And that's an ongoing process too, right?
It is.
It's not something that's just going to happen overnight.
Yeah, this field is constantly evolving. So,
Right.
the challenges and the opportunities are going to continue to change and emerge over time.
Right. So we need to be able to adapt,
Yeah.
stay informed, and stay engaged.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what can our listener do
Well,
to stay involved in all of this?
there's so many ways to contribute.
Yeah.
So start by educating yourself
Okay.
about these open data initiatives, these ethical AI practices,
Mm-hmm.
the different approaches to data governance.
Okay.
Support those organizations that are promoting collaboration and responsible AI development.
Okay.
Engage in conversation
Yeah.
about the impact of AI on society.
Yep.
And advocate for policies that, align with your values.
Exactly. Make your voice heard.
Yeah.
And I think most importantly, just stay curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep asking questions. Keep challenging those assumptions.
Yeah.
Explore different perspectives.
The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something that we create together.
And it's important to remember that.
It is.
We all have a part to play in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by embracing that spirit of collaboration,
Yeah.
innovation, responsibility,
Mhm.
I think we can create a future where AI empowers us, connects us,
Yeah.
and helps us build a more just and sustainable world
I love that.
for everyone.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of collaborative AI.
Of course.
We hope you found it insightful,
Yeah.
inspiring, and that you'll continue to explore,
Yes.
question, and collaborate.
Collaborate. That's the key.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Collaboration is key.
It really is. It's the foundation of all of this. And it feels like this is, just the beginning.
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started.
Like we're at the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much more to come.
So much more to explore and unpack and learn about.
Exactly.
But I think our listener has a good understanding of the basics now.
Yeah, I think so.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think it's important to emphasize, that this technology, it's not a magic bullet.
Right.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So we have a responsibility.
Exactly. We have to use it wisely and ethically.
And that comes down to the people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's our choices,
Right.
our actions that will determine the ultimate impact of this technology.
And it's about those conversations that we're having.
Yeah, we have to keep talking about it.
And making sure that we're on the right track.
Exactly.
And thinking about those potential consequences.
Both positive and negative.
Right, exactly. And it's not just the responsibility of, a few people.
It's a collective responsibility.
It is.
It involves all of us.
So it's up to all of us to shape this future that we want.
Absolutely. This is not something that's going to be decided by, a small group of tech elites.
Right.
This is something that's going to affect all of us.
So we need to be a part of the conversation.
Exactly. We need to make our voices heard.
And that's what we're trying to do here today.
That's right.
By, shining a light on this topic and hopefully getting people thinking about it.
And engage.
And asking those tough questions.
Yes.
And so if you're listening out there,
yeah,
we encourage you to do the same.
Absolutely.
Go out there.
Yeah.
Learn more about this.
Educate yourself.
Talk about it with your friends.
Yes.
Your family.
Share your thoughts.
Your colleagues.
Get involved in those conversations.
Right, because the future of AI is in our hands.
It is.
And we have the power to shape it.
And I think if we work together,
yeah,
we can create a future where this technology truly benefits everyone.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about.
It is.
So thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Me too.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.
Absolutely.